Recovery is a process of decisions podcast. This podcast is a weekly revealing of the recovery journey of peer support specialist Trent Thomas. Join him on his internal research-driven dive into what to and what not to do in sustaining recovery. His weekly episodes demonstrate that you are not alone, and what we can't do alone, we can do together. This life is hills and valleys, but we were built for struggle. These weekly episodes are a journey into his life lessons as he fulfills his daily mandate to help someone other than himself. Welcome to Recovery is a Process of Decisions podcast. Welcome to the Recovery is a Process of Decisions podcast. This is Trent Thomas, your recovery peer support specialist, and this week's episode is entitled Recovery is for Now, Not Later. Later, the coffee gets cold. Later, we grow old. Later, we get tired. We retire. Later today becomes tomorrow. Later time advances. Later becomes too late. Recovery is a decision to live and not die. Recovery only happens in the here and now. Recovery tomorrow is not promised and may not be possible. Your recovery has a starting point. Your later may very well be too late. Later today could be not soon enough. Your next time could very well be your last time. The promise of today is for right now. The promise of later could be too late. Your yesterday is history and your tomorrow is not promised. All you have is right now today. Later could be too late. Putting off today for tomorrow is a promise you really cannot make. We control very little. Certainly we don't control future time and events. The fact that you will wake up each morning is beyond your control. Thus, putting off recovery may very well be too late. Recovery is a decision to live and not die. When suffering from an incurable disease that is fatal and could lead to premature death at any moment, can be a fatal decision. With the advent of fentanyl, this could never be more true. Your very decision to use could in fact be your last. The fact that the very drugs you seek are now laced with a compound that once ingested leads to instant and irreversible death makes the decision to recover more and more imperative and crucial. The resources for recovery exist and are now more available than ever before. However, the consequences for not recovery have never been more drastic. Death due to overdose is becoming more and more common. Unexplained overdose death from drugs that normally don't result in overdose demonstrates the urgent need to initiate recovery today. In fact, right now. Tomorrow could literally be too late. There's a slogan that has become increasingly more and more true. This slogan states that one can be too stupid to live. Stupid is defined as ignorant by choice, when one decides to not know the truth. This means you decide to not know better, a decision to remain ignorant or stupid. Your decisions can be so reckless, so ignorant that they cost you your very life. You can become too stupid to live. When your foolish decision to know the truth or know better, to take foolish risks that could cost you your very life. Stupidity can cost you your life. You can be too stupid to live. Recovery is a decision to be made sooner, not later. Later could very well be too late. One day away could be a day too far, a day too late. Your tomorrow is not guaranteed. This day could be your last. When facing an incurable disease that wants you dead, the sooner you enter a life of recovery, the better your chances for life. Life is the reward for making correct decisions. Death is a consequence for making wrong or bad decisions. Recovery is a decision to live and not die. It's not complicated. Recovery is your decision to live. To not recover is to decide to die. Deciding today may be your last chance to make this decision. This is Trent Thomas on another episode of Recovery is a Process of Decisions podcast. You can now subscribe to this podcast and receive special in-depth episodes for subscribers only, as well as a private personal email account to communicate directly with me for comments and show suggestions. In addition, I will be doing podcast shout-outs to all those subscribers who request shout-outs. As always, your inspiring comments can be left at transnetrecover.com/podcast. Please feel free to follow me on Facebook and Instagram, #TransNetRecover. Thank you and have a blessed day.